that. We scream for the ones who, well, we never knew. We don't know their names, but we go silent when it's somebody we actually grew up with. That shit never made sense to me.
You don't know them, but you screaming their name. When your people got a dream, you don't even do the same. Show love to a stranger, but not your own lane. When I blow up, don't circle back with the shame. Who you know? Tell me who you really ride for. Who you show love to when it's time for war. While we cold, when it's friends but one with the fame. Now I'm up. Don't act like we ever been the same. I was starving. Niggas ain't offer me a plate. Now I'm eating. Everybody looking, wanna taste fake love. I can smell that shit in their face, and I did it on my own. Ain't no need for a chase. You was there when I was broke. Why you ghosted me back then? Now I'm posting numbers, so now you posting again. Show support to these celebs, and you don't even know. But your bro got a dream, and you still moving cold. You're Bob Balenciaga, but not your homie T. You're a post Kanye, but you won't repost me. You dance for Drake, you gon' cry for Ye. But your day one drop, and you really look away. Don't wait till I'm dead to show me love. Don't DM me when I finally blow up. You had your chance to ride when I was climbing, but you chose to stay silent, and now I'm shining. You don't know them, but you screaming their name. When your people got a dream, you don't even do the same. Show love to a stranger, but not your own lane. When I blow up, don't circle back with the shame. Who you know? Tell me who you really ride for. Who you show love to when it's time for war. While we cold, when it's friends but one with the fame. Now I'm up. Don't act like we ever been the same. I really used to vent and nobody would listen. Now they wanna act like they was part of the mission. You ain't clapped when I won. You was hoping and wishing I would fold. Now you niggas broken, you twitching. But I'm popping in the city, got the world on my back. But the ones from the block, they won't give me no gap. I ain't bitter, nigga, I'm just stating a fact. You ain't with me, nigga, you can stay where you at. And I'm the same one who tried to bring y'all all in, but now I'm dolo. Gotta charge up for a friend, but it's different when you really come from the dirt. And the people that you feed try to do you the worst. Don't wait till I'm dead to show me love. Don't DM me when I finally blow up. You had your chance to ride when I was climbing, but you chose to stay silent, and now I'm shining. You don't know them, but you screaming their name. When your people got a dream, you don't even do the same. Show love to a stranger, but not your own lane. When I blow up, don't circle back with the shame. Who you know? Tell me who you really ride for. Who you show love to when it's time for war. While we cold, when it's friends but one with the fame. Now I'm up. Don't act like we ever been the same. You don't know them, but you screaming their name. When your people got a dream, you don't even do the same. Show love to a stranger, but not your own lane. When I blow up, don't circle back with the shame. Who you know? Tell me who you really ride for. Who you show love to when it's time for war. While we cold, when it's friends but one with the fame. Now I'm up. Don't act like we ever been the same.
Are you feeling stuck with $10,000?
What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and we back here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to everyone who support the platform. Much love, much love, much love. If you are in the building and you can hear me clearly, please drop a 1 in the chat. Please drop a 1 in the chat. Please drop a 1 in the chat. Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly out there. Please drop a 1 in the chat. Drop a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. Okay. Shout out to everyone in the building. I'm glad you guys can hear me. And of course, we are back right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I'm your host, DS1 Ross, of course. I appreciate all the love and the support. Salute to everyone that's in the building right now. Salute. Shout out to all the visionaries. Shout out to my lovely lady mods. Shout out to my lovely lady mods that always come through and hold it down. Welcome back to all the new supporters. If you are a new supporter, shout out to you and welcome back to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I appreciate all the love and the support. We got another great show lined up for you guys this afternoon. So we're going to get into it, but I'm going to shout you guys out. And then we're going to get into the show. We got a great show lined up for you guys today. It's a conversation that we need to have. And we're going to have it. So shout out to everyone. Let's see who's here. If you missed earlier show, please, one of my mods, can y'all please drop the link in the chat if you missed earlier show? Please drop the link. Thank you so much. Shout out to the cynical one in the building. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Okay, we back. Shout out to the cynical one in the building. Good to see you, Sin. Good to see you. Shout out to you. First lovely lady mod in the building today. Thank you so much, Sin. I appreciate you. Shout out to you. Shout out to my man Mark McJoy in the building. Peace, Mark. Peace to you, bro. Shout out to you. Shout out to Miss Kari D in the building. What's up, Kari? Good to have everyone back, man. Good to see y'all. Shout out to Miss Classy Creole, of course. One of my top lovely lady mods in here today. Shout out to y'all, man. Good to see y'all back. Shout out to Scorpio Mama in the building. What's up, Scorpio? Good to see you. Got another lovely lady mod in here today. We are 3 for 3 thus far. Shout out to y'all. Peace to my man Seth's son in the building. He says, peace. Good show this morning. Shout out to you, bro. You know, I had to come down a little bit, man, for this show. You know. Shout out to my man Seth's son on a pull-up. Shout out to my man City Boy Floyd in the building. Salute. Shout out to Miss Rain and Woman in the building. We got another top lovely lady mod in the building today. 2 for 2 on the top lovely lady mods. But we got 4 lovely lady mods in here today. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Miss Rain and Woman. Good to see you, Rainer. Yeah, we back, Scorpio. We back. Shout out to Miss Gigi. What's up, Miss Gigi? What's going on? Shout out to my man Raj. What up, Raj? Salute. Let's see who else is on a pull-up. Shout out to everyone, man. Shout out to everyone that's coming through. Shout out to everyone that's in the clouds. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on the way in. Double tap y'all screens. Double tap y'all screens. Hit the like button. Also, share the show. Share the show, y'all. Share the show. Share today's show. I know this is a conversation that a lot of content creators have been making content about. Shout out to my man Freezy. He had a good show last night about this topic. Shout out to my man Freezy. I like the angle that he came at it. He asked the question, being that all of this junk food is banned by SNAP in a lot of different states, will that force women to cook more? Will that force women back in the kitchen because they can't just give their kids them quick meals anymore? So I like the angle that he came at it. And I'm gonna speak about it from my angle today. So shout out to everyone, man. Thank you, Miss Classy Creole, for dropping that in the chat. If you would like to donate to the show, if you would like to financially support, the super chat is open and the links is pinned to the top of the chat. Just follow those directions. And that's how you support the show. But y'all see the show. 5 shocking reasons Trump wants to ban junk food from SNAP. Now, before we get into the reasoning for why Trump wants to ban the junk food, understand that anything that comes from the Trump administration, right? People are going to say that it comes directly from Trump. Because again, this correlates to earlier show when we were speaking on leadership and facilitation. Trump is the leader. He's the president of the United States. So anything that his administration does, right, it's going to count as something that Trump did or something that happened during the Trump era. But y'all have to understand that this whole thing with the FDA, because remember, we spoke about this a couple of months ago. We did a show about the FDA. We also did a show about the upcoming manufacturing of food that's coming back to America. Remember, we spoke about Heinz investing in factories here in America to produce ketchup. So we've been covering this a little bit. And what I want y'all to know is the man that's behind the banning of junk food and sugars and all of these products that give our children behavioral disabilities and certain mental illnesses is a guy by the name of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Just in case y'all don't know, his name is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's the man that's behind this ban. He is the man that is behind making America healthy again. He's a part of that. He's in charge of that part of making America great again. He wants to make sure that our future generations of children are healthy. Because it's been a lot of generations of children being born with autism and born with all of these different syndromes and different ailments due to the food that's on the shelves. See, we finally have an administration here in our country that actually cares about the well-being of the American people. They don't just want to protect us from foreign and domestic threats. They don't just want to bring jobs back. They also want us to be healthy. They want our children to have a better quality of food because they understand the crap that has been on the shelves in America and the effects of it, because it's not helping the country. If you're feeding the children poison, you're training them to get used to poison, their body's going to break down, their minds are going to break down. So you don't have people, right, who's competent enough to do jobs, to work certain careers, to help push society forward. People are incompetent. The children are incompetent. The children are not able to learn because of what's in the food. So the government is looking at this like, hold on, we got to step in and do something about this. Because it's not just about what the parents are feeding them, it's about what's available to the parents. Because 9 times out of 10, most of the time, you're going to feed your children what you eat. Whatever's in the house to eat is what's available to eat. So what's available in the supermarkets, right, is what's available in the supermarkets for parents and their children. You understand? And then let's not forget they eating bad food in school. So what Robert F. Kennedy realized is we got to stop making these foods readily available to children. This is why they stopped junk food for parents who use SNAP. This is why. And understand this. Because I know a lot of y'all are taking this stuff personal. But don't forget, who's the most people who's on SNAP? What group of people has the most children dealing with autism? See, that has just become a new phenomenon in the Black community, where you got a bunch of Black children dealing with autism and all of that stuff. But we know the community that those things plague: ADHD, autism, all of those different types of diseases. And they're trying to find a way to find out what happened. And Robert F. Kennedy is saying it's the food. Robert F. Kennedy is saying it's the food. It's the food. It's the food why these kids can't sit down and concentrate. It's the food. The low test scores, right, is a direct result of the lack of nutrition. See, these people know this. These people know this. They already have the proof of this. Robert F. Kennedy already has the proof of this. He already knows what products is giving these children ADHD, giving these children autism. He already know the foods. This is why he's banning junk food, because it is the junk food. You see? So part of making America great again, and shout out to the Trump administration, is making sure that every American, no matter how much money they make, have access to good quality food. You see? Some of y'all think that the only way you can eat healthy is you just got to pay for healthy food. No, that's a scam. The government is supposed to have healthy food on all price levels. So in order for me and my family to eat healthy and have healthy food available to me in my area, I got to make 6 figures. That is it. Just listen to that. That don't make sense. Why do I have to be wealthy to eat healthy? The government is supposed to make this a necessity of life. Because if you want to keep a competent workforce and keep the people who's a part of society growing and progressing society, they should be eating healthy. They should be eating healthy. Eating healthy should be a necessity. It should be a requirement. It should not be, oh, I paid for healthy food or I paid to be healthy, so that's why I'm healthy. No, it's the government's job to make sure that quality food is readily available to the people. Because when you don't, you end up with the country that we have today called the United States. A bunch of mentally ill, crazy, malnutritious people, AKA zombies. Zombies. This is why you got a bunch of zombies running around in this country. People are dehydrated. People are malnutritious. And it's not because they're not drinking water. It's not because they're not eating. It's because what's in the food and what's in the water. It's about what the American government have allowed to happen to the people. And we finally have an administration now that's saying this shit is going to have to stop. Because if it doesn't, we won't have a country. We won't have a country to run. We will not have a country to run if we continue to allow this. We won't have a country to run. We won't have a country. Rick Slick says, the biggest issue is the industry twisting our nutrition into being addictive with the trash they lace in it. Facts. Good point. That's a great point. That's a great point, Rick Slick. Because the stuff that's in it is addictive. The types of sugars, the chemicals, that shit is addictive. Absolutely. Absolutely. Totally agree. They are literally poisoning us. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And they've been doing it for so long, sis, that now the government is realizing that it's not profitable for them to do that anymore. At one point in society, it was profitable to keep us sedated, to keep us stupid, to keep us malnutritious, to keep us dependent. That was once beneficial. It's no longer beneficial to the system, because what it's actually doing is it's breaking the system down. When you make people in society dependable on the government, how long do you think the government is going to stand? When the government's job is to aid and assist you on being self-sufficient. That's the job of the government. I help you until you able to help yourself fully. That's the job of the government. People been living off the government. That's why the government breaking down. It's not designed for you to live off of. That's why they're called agencies. They're there to provide resources when resources are not available to you. That's what it is. So if you poison people, if you poison the food and poison the water, in turn, you make the people dependent on the government. You know why? Because now they got to depend on the medicine. They got to depend on medicine. They got to depend on their health care. And a lot of people nowadays, when they get sick, they can't work no more. And all of this stuff is stemming from the shit that we're eating and drinking. And it's not just the unhealthy stuff. It's not just the sodas and stuff. It's the stuff that's on the shelves, period. Because they already exposed the fake vegan epidemic, where you think you eating healthy vegan food. They already exposed that. So now we got a guy like Robert F. Kennedy, who's in office, who's saying this gotta stop. We can't hide it no more. We have to tell the people, yes, we've been poisoning y'all. We're the reason why 2 of your kids got autism. It's because of us. It's because of the Oreos and the shit that we put in Oreos and cupcakes and fruit snacks for your kids. It was us. Yes, we did it. And we're going to fix it. This is what I respect the most about the Trump administration. They're coming out and telling us, yeah, we did that. That was the government. Yeah, we did that. Yep, we sure did. Just like eventually they had to tell us, oh yeah, we did drop crack and guns in the black community so y'all could sell crack and kill each other. We did do that. You see how they told us that? you see how they told us that? Yeah, we did create the projects for y'all. They told us that. They admitted it. But see, we get caught up in all these distractions that we don't even be realizing they done told the truth already. And not only did they tell the truth, they're making efforts to fix the shit. This is what the Trump administration is doing. Not only are they telling us the truth, they're making efforts to fix it. They're making efforts to fix it. They're making efforts to fix it. What up, Free Zone? What's good? I love Oreos too. Come on. What up, Spartacus? Spartacus says, my favorite afternoon show. Shout out to my man Spartacus, man. Salute. What's up, Shark? Shark Tanko? What's going on, fam? What's going on? Lifter Dave, 1964. What's up, Lifter? What's going on, man? Been saying this for years. Salute to you, man. J Tex, what's up, J Tex? J Tex says, hey, everyone, we need to be more self reliable. Learn to grow your own food and herbs. Maybe raise animals. The Most High already given us laws to live and keep. Facts, J Tex. Great ideas, man. Salute to you, man. And none of that is illegal in America. Everything you said, we could do here. What up, Benjamin? Shout out to Benjamin Brown in the building. What's up, fam? Salute. Oh, nah, that's what's up, Taylor? That's another Taylor. Taylor says, while Republicans are busy fixing this country, liberals are busy calling Sidney Sweeney a Nazi. They have learned nothing. You know why, Taylor? Because they put these distractions out, right? So you don't know that history is being made. See, this is what they doing to Trump. They don't want the American people to know that Trump is changing America. They want everything that he do to fly under the radar. Just like when he and we played it on the show, where he admitted out of his mouth that this country was built off the backs of black people. I played the video, but people still acting like Trump is this racist guy. But he said out of his mouth, I played the video, that this country was built off the backs, sweat, blood, and tears of black folk, of black Americans. Not only did he admit this, he then gave us a memorial and put great black American statues in there. Michael Jordan is in there. Kobe Bryant is in there in this garden. Great black Americans. He paid homage to great black Americans and what they did for this country. But they used the media like the Epstein list to keep you distracted from what he really doing and what the Trump administration is doing. Do you know how many kids were rescued from sex traffickers? Shout out to Kash Patel and the FBI, Tom Holman and the Border Patrol. This is all the Trump administration, bringing women and kids back home from being kidnapped and trafficked. Nobody's talking about that. Everybody want to talk about the Epstein list. Just like right now, they don't want to talk about how the Trump administration is banning all of these poisonous snacks so our children can have a brighter future, so they can learn how to focus in school. Y'all not thinking about none of this. Y'all not talking about none of this because y'all focus on the distractions when Trump is making history. Real history, real political history. His administration is making. Robert F. Kennedy is talking about he's going to ban your children from drinking Capri Suns. That's why they can't sit down. And guess who started drinking Capri Suns before our kids were drinking them? White kids. So this ain't got nothing to do with race. Because some of y'all are saying, oh, he just doing that for the black people. No, dummy. The biggest group that's on SNAP benefits is white women. See, I bet you didn't even know that. So who you think got the biggest problem with these snacks and these drinks? Who was drinking Capri Suns before our kids? Because, see, I ain't grow up drinking Capri Suns. I grew up drinking quarter waters. They call them hug juices now. We grew up drinking quarter waters. We ain't grow up drinking Capri Suns. See, we know where Capri Suns come from. See, if you grew up drinking Capri Suns, that means you had some money. You had money if you grew up drinking Capri Suns, because in our generation, the people who drank Capri Suns was the white boys. The white boys drunk Capri Suns. We drunk Tropical Fantasy. They drunk Minute Maid. See, we drunk Sunnydales. They had Tropicana orange juice. They had the real Oreos. We had the fake ones. See? So this ain't got nothing to do with race. This ain't got nothing to do with race. Nothing. Because that ADHD, autism epidemic started amongst white mothers, white stay-at-home moms. They're the ones who advocated for children in autism. They're the ones. The Black community didn't know what autism was. We didn't know what ADHD was. We was told to go sit our little ass down. We know we had ADHD. We got that from them white moms who were stay-at-home moms that little Caden didn't want to listen to. Shut up, Mom. They wanted to know why their kids wasn't listening. That's where all this awareness come from. Stop making this shit about race, y'all. Because now my son goes to school with Caden. You see? That's how that is. Stop making this shit about race. Because then that's how you lose understanding of what's really going on. You see? That's how you miss the point. That's how you really don't know what's going on, because they got black news and they got white news. See, if you still caught up in race, then that means you worried about the Diddy shit. You still worry about baby oil. Because you still caught up on race. So you still worried about Diddy. You still talking about Diddy. See, you ain't even in the real world. Black news is to keep black people sleep and stupid. Black news is for you to stay a pervert and talk about sex all day because you caught up in race. See? You don't even know what's going on. You don't even know that this new regime is constructing a new future for our children. I could never be mad at this administration. My son gonna be able to walk in a supermarket and have a better choice of healthier food. How could I be mad at that? How could I be mad that the government has made a decision to say we need to make sure that these children, we need some goddamn geniuses again. Do y'all know Elon Musk is from Africa? The most brilliant man in the world right now is African. Do you know America don't make geniuses no more? America don't make geniuses no more. This is what the government is thinking about, y'all. Y'all don't see this? The smartest man in the world is not even from America. The smartest people in the world are not American anymore. Ain't no scientists here. Ain't none of it. They from other countries, y'all. So they saying We need some American geniuses. We need some inventors. How do we recreate the inventor mind? They got to stop eating certain shit. They have to stop being subjected to certain things. They understand how this works because they understand how we got to this point, y'all. This is what I love and respect about the Trump administration the most. They're not denying what already happened. They're not saying, oh no, we didn't do that. Oh no, the government isn't responsible for that. No, Robert F. Kennedy is saying, oh no, we did do that. Oh no, we are gonna fix that. That's what they're doing. They're not saying, oh no, we don't know how that happened. Oh no, they know what happened. They know what happened. Yes, what you put into your body matters. And what's available for people to put in their bodies is what matters as well. And that is controlled by the government. Shout out to you, Lucy. I like that name too, by the way. Kari says, we do. Americans are not developers anymore. We're only consumers. Exactly. Worthless eaters. When America was the home of inventions, inventors. Come on, man. Lifter Dave says, healthcare and insurance costs on a sick. Yeah, I agree. That's true too. That's true too. That's true. That sick care money. That's true too. If you make America healthy again, right? You won't have to provide all of this low-level health care. Think about this. Because listen, let's just be real. We dealing with the government, so of course they're also thinking financially. we can't exclude the financial aspect to it because they're the government. So you got to remember things are multi-layered. So problems have to be solved on multiple layers. So this health problem isn't just a problem as far as people eating bad food. What is the effects of people eating bad food? Health insurance going up. People going to need more health insurance because it's going to be more people sick. So you're going to have to hire more people for hospitals. You're going to have to pay for more medicine. This is the effects. This is how far it goes. When healthy food isn't readily available to the people. It should be readily available. Readily available. It shouldn't have anything to do with how much money I make. Because I need to eat healthy to survive. I need to eat healthy to get up and go to work in the morning. So I can make it to my goddamn retirement age. Most people don't make it to their retirement age because of what they consume. See, all of this stuff is being considered by the Trump administration. They're looking at this stuff from this scope. And as American people, I don't see how we could be against it. He says, it's all hot garbage. No one's coming to save us. We need Jesus. Nobody's looking at Trump as a savior, man. CRXR says 90% of the world's technology is invented in Silicon Valley and in the Silicon Plain. Agreed. 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 What up, Bluegrass? Bluegrass says, get CRT out of our schools and promote trade schools. Bring our jobs and businesses back to America. Agreed. And a Bluegrass, that's already happening. Trump already got that going on, bro. You could look that up. That's already going on. But here's the connection to all of that. If you want to promote trade schools and men doing trades, do you know that's traditional man shit? So if you want men to do trade work, they're going to have to be healthy, right? So they need to have healthy food available to them on their goddamn supermarket shelves. If you want men to go back to being iron workers and working on railroads and shit, we need healthy food readily available, no matter how much money you make. You see what I mean? That's the connection to that. See, a lot of our grandfathers was eating healthy. That shit was healthy they was eating. You may think it wasn't healthy, but your ass, people in your generation dying at 50 and 60. Your grandfather lived till he was 94. So tell me who eating healthy and who not. Your grandfather lived till he was 94. Let's talk about it. Come on now. That's the proof. People live longer. That's a direct example of the food being bad. People dying much earlier. The life expectancy rate is shorter. And then to add on top of the bad food, all the goddamn pollution. Let's not forget about the pollution and all the contaminants we breathe in. And then let's add in some people smoke. You got to add in your lifestyle too. You might smoke. You might drink. What do you think make it worse? It's the food that make it worse. You know, when we drunk, we eat the most worst shit in the world because we drunk. It's the food. Not saying it ain't the liquor, but it's when you add that garbage on top, it's over. It's over. If you go to your doctor will tell you, yeah, slow down on the drinking, but pay attention to what you eat when you drink. It's the same thing for smokers. The same thing for smokers. The doctor will tell you if you smoke weed, whatever you smoke, they tell you if you don't want the smoking to really affect you, eat healthy. Eat healthier. Do you know most of the goddamn salads you buy ain't healthy now? Most of the salads are not even fresh. You could go and buy a salad and it won't be fresh. So you mean to tell me I gotta go to Wegmans? I gotta go all the way to goddamn Publix to get me a fresh head of lettuce? That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, bro. I should be able to walk in any store, except a gas station, that sells produce and get a fresh piece of produce. Come on now. That is supposed to be standard. This is what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is talking about and he's fighting for. That this stuff is standard. Organic vegetables and fruit and all that's supposed to be standard. That's not supposed to be something special. That's supposed to be standard. I'm eating a watermelon with seeds in it. That should be standard. That shouldn't be nothing special. Because my grandfather, he ate watermelons with seeds in it. My great grandparents, they ate healthy. That's why they lived so damn long. That's why those elderly men could walk around on one leg and get up under a car and drop a transmission. That's why them older men be 65, 75 years old lifting air conditioners, because the shit that they ate, it preserved them. It was the quality of the food. The quality of the food. Them men back in the day probably couldn't read a book, but he knew how to fix a car. Intelligence. What you think spark your intelligence? Your food, the food you eat. What do you think develop your brain? Food. 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 Do you know that there's specific fruits and vegetables and certain proteins that develop your brain? This stuff is missing out of products that our children should be eating. And then we wondering why the goddamn citywide test scores are so low. It's not because they got a learning disability. It's because they not eating right. They not even eating right. Robert F. Kennedy and his team, they understand this. Human Health Services. That's his department. He understands this. My bad, y'all. Hold on. Make sure this is off. Manny Solo says, why would Trump want to ban the exact same foods that he eats? You're actually making a point that Trump is stupid because all he eats is junk. Thank you, sir. Yeah. So wait a minute. So you know what Donald Trump eat? Wait. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did this man just tell me what Donald Trump eats? Whoa. I didn't man Solo. I didn't know that you was Trump nutritionist. But thanks for letting me know. Bluegrass says organic food isn't healthy. They use pesticides. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because it's not really organic. It's not really organic. You're right, Bluegrass. What's up, Bridget? How you doing, Bridget M? Good to see you. I appreciate your support. Shout out to my man, Auntie. Lifter Dave says cholesterol is needed for the brain, so they give us statins to reduce the cholesterol. Yeah, that's right. Try to explain that away. Don't skip it. What? What? Hey, sis, what's wrong with these people, man? And then he types in the chat, checkmate. How did you check me? Because I don't know what Donald Trump eats. What? Yo, what's wrong with y'all, man? He said checkmate. Yeah, you got it, bro. you got it. You got it, bro. You got it. You got it. Bridget says, yes, he eats unhealthy foods. He loves McDonald's. Who don't love McDonald's? That's fast food. We talking about banning foods, right? That's sold in the supermarket. We're not talking about fast food. Yeah, yo, shout out to my man Fierce Soul. Bro, he said checkmate as if he know what Trump eat. Oh, Trump loves McDonald's. That's fast food. That's not the shit that's sold in your local supermarket. You can't even go to your local supermarket and get a fresh head of cabbage. That's what Robert F. Kennedy is fixing. He fast food. You can't buy fast food with SNAP. You can't go to McDonald's with your EBT card. Man, y'all crazy, man. White Boy Exotics says, I have epilepsy and eating junk food make me happy. I shouldn't have to eat veggies for the rest of my life. Plus, doctors tell me I have to eat fish, so it gets expensive. Yeah, you do have to eat fish, bro. Because the fish oils and stuff helps your brain, which will help with your episodes for your epilepsy. Junk food makes you happy, but it also puts a lot of sugar on your brain, which can cause you to have a seizure. White Boy Exotics. So be careful, man. J Tex, lacking nutrition to the brain. Exactly. Absolutely. Kari says a high fiber diet can reverse cholesterol levels without taking statins. Michael Anderson says Subway takes EBT. I didn't know that. Oh, wow. Subway take EBT? I didn't know that. Yeah, McDonald's got the McDonald's, to me now, McDonald's don't have the best fries. Not to me. I like seasoned fries. McDonald's don't have the best fries. But I ain't know Subway take EBT, y'all. I ain't know they take EBT. Shout out to my man Ant T in the building. Salute, Ant. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to my man Third in the building. What up, Third? Salute to you, my brother. He says you can't even buy hot food out the grocery store or the corner store with EBT. Benjamin says, these people crazy. They known as the stool inspectors. How you know what somebody eats? Right. Did you study their stool? That's a good one, Benjamin. How the hell you know what that man eat? Because he said he loved McDonald's. The hell? White Boy Exotic says, true. I've been doing good too. Haven't had one in 2 years, thanks to my meds and that good gas. If you know, you know. You already know. Shout out to White Boy Exotics, man. I appreciate your support, man. Salute to you. Salute to you, man. If you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button, man. We live over here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 3 p.m. EST, man. Yeah, they saying Subways. You know the sandwich franchise, Classy Creole. They saying Subways take EBT. I ain't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. Raj says Subway takes EBT. I need to borrow someone's EBT card for a few minutes. Right. For real. For real. So let's get into it. Let's get into this article real quick. Let me share my screen. So y'all can know that this actually comes from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. bans food stamps being used for soda. He wants kids to stop drinking soda, y'all. The Secretary of Agriculture and the Secretary of Health and Human Services announced on Monday the signing of waivers that ban low-income Americans in 6 more states from using government-issued benefits on soda and other unhealthy foods. Though the Trump administration has claimed the move is intended to steer Americans toward healthier food choices, critics say the ban amounts to a federal penalty on poverty. Federal food assistance programs such as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program have existed in the U.S. since the 1930s. The announcement included an element of deep irony as it took place in front of a photograph on a wall behind Secretary Brooke Rollins, displaying President Donald Trump sitting at his desk, which features a red button specifically designed to alert a White House staff member to bring him a Diet Coke. Look, y'all. You see how they throw this in there. So now you could just throw away everything that they're doing. Oh, he's drinking a soda. Why should we believe they doing anything? See what they do? See what they do? See what they do? Taking this shit personal. You're not thinking about your children, your grandchildren. You're not thinking about the country. You thinking about yourself. See, I'm not thinking about myself. You see? I'm thinking about the future. Because I grew up drinking soda. I grew up drinking quarter waters. I grew up drinking tropical fantasy. I grew up drinking that shit. You know why? Because that's what's readily available in my environment. Ain't got nothing to do with you being rich or poor. So because you poor, the government gotta only let you eat bad food. And they've been doing that shit for way too long. And now this administration realizes that it's not gonna benefit them to do this. It's not gonna benefit the government to have millions of people with diabetes. It's not gonna benefit us. Because we're going to have to give all these people health insurance. We're going to have to give all these people medicine. So how about we start limiting this problem by making sure everybody got decent food to eat? Let's take this shit off the shelf. And if you want to eat it, we ain't going to pay our tax money for you to eat it. You're going to pay it out your own pocket, and you're going to kill yourself with your own money. You ain't going to use government issue money to kill yourself no more. We ain't going to allow it as the government. And y'all mad at this type of administration? Man, y'all people crazy, man. Y'all people crazy. Y'all people crazy, man. Y'all crazy. The waivers were signed for Florida, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Colorado, joining already restricted states Iowa and Indiana. Opponents of the measure have long argued that prohibiting more prepared and processed food items failed to acknowledge and limited access some poorer Americans have to electricity, stoves, and refrigerator and an oven, according to Texas Tribune. Sometimes there's a kid at home alone in a house that has no electricity. Amber O'Connor, food policy analyst for Every Texan, told the Tribune in June as Texas Senator Mays Middleton moved forward a similarly restrictive bill. They have no experience cooking. It is more important that they get calories to get through until tomorrow. Or is it more important that they spend their $6 allotment on a $3 bell pepper? Y'all hear the discourse? This is the discourse. Our main opposition to SNAP restrictions is because we SNAP recipients should have the same choices as other customers. See this? We all believe in free choice. We live in a democracy, Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said Monday. People can make their own choice about what they're going to buy and what they're not going to buy. If you want to buy sugary soda, you ought to be able to do that. But the US taxpayer shouldn't have to pay for it. Exactly. That's what I just said. If you want to kill yourself, we ain't going to sponsor your death. We ain't going to sponsor your heart attack. We ain't going to sponsor your cancer. We ain't going to sponsor your diabetes. We ain't going to sponsor none of that shit no more. Because we the ones that pay for it. The government. The government pay for all that shit. The government does. When they need to be putting more money into the goddamn educational system. Instead of a bunch of goddamn sick people who willingly want to be sick. Come on. We need some more shit in the schools. The goddamn school system lacking. But they spending billions of dollars a year in subsidized healthcare. See that? So now, if you want diabetes, you're going to pay to get it. We ain't going to pay for you to get it. We ain't going to subsidize you getting the shit. And then we're going to pay for you while you got diabetes. We're going to pay for you to stay alive until you die. Listen, this is the government is doing all of this. And what does that do for the children? Huh? How about if we cut some money over here, we can lower the cost for colleges. So tuition ain't so goddamn high. But nobody's thinking about that because everybody's selfish. Everybody's selfish. And you know who falls at the end of the totem pole? The children. They suffer the most. Bunch of selfish ass grown-ups worried about, why I can't eat a donut? Not thinking about these kids. Not thinking about these kids. Not thinking about these kids. Hey, Jewel, how you doing? These people don't know because they aren't currently living in those situations. It's easy to speak from a place and make no sense when you're not living in it. No, it's not about always living in something. It's about knowing what's going on around you. You can know what's going on around you and not be a victim of it. That's called being aware. You don't always have to be going through something to be aware of something. That's the purpose of learning. So you don't have to go through something to learn something. You see, that's the purpose of being aware. That's the purpose of all of that. You can't go through life letting life live you, because that's what that is. You letting life live you. You only learn about something until it hurts you. I don't live life like that. I don't live life like that. I don't live life like that. I don't learn when something hurts me, when something affects me. No, I try my best to learn before that. To be eligible for SNAP benefits, a household income must be at or below 130% of the federal poverty line. For a family of three, a yearly income of $33,000 or less will qualify them for SNAP benefits, according to the Center for Budget and Policy Priorities. The majority of lower income households, or those earning less than $50,000 a year, voted for Trump in 2024 election, according to the Financial Times. The imagery of a ban on sugary drinks for some of the country's lowest income families, while the president calls for a soda using a button installed on his desk at the White House, seem to illustrate the notion that unhealthy food choices are right, reserved only for those of higher socioeconomic status. You see this? You see how they play on the minds of the people? You see how they play on the naivete of people? Oh, you only could drink a soda because you make a certain amount of money. That ain't fair. Why I can't have a soda? Everybody should have a soda. You see that? You see that? You see how? Do you see how suggestive the media is? Look how they playing on your feelings. They know that the majority of people reading about this stuff buy snacks and all of that shit with food stamps. So now how they play into your emotions is they say, well, you too broke to drink a soda. You too broke to drink a soda. And then that get a bunch of people rallying. Oh, why we can't have sodas? That's not fair. We all should be able to drink a soda. We all should be able to eat donuts. We all should be able to do that. That's not fair in America. Now you got people marching for stupidity. Now you got people marching for chocolate donuts. No justice, no donuts. Now you got people doing dumb shit like that. Marching so they could drink soda and eat donuts. When we not looking at the bigger picture. We're not looking at the bigger picture. Also, we live in a bad world if we end up in a world one day where your child can't drink a soda. The world is evil because your kids can't drink soda and eat ramen. You know the shit that give them, cancer. Eating hot fries and shit. Doritos. Also, the world gonna be evil. The world won't be a good place to live in because your children can't eat Oreos and Doritos. That's what we doing. That's what we do. We should be able to have that. Yeah. Yes, if you pay for it. If you pay for it. Because see, how I look at this is for our best interests. I could never be against nobody who has my best interests. And the future of children, that's their best interest. How could I be against that? How could I be against that? How can I be against that? These people already proved to us that these sugary drinks and these processed things is the number one thing outside of DNA is what's giving most of these children autism. It's the snacks. How can I be mad at a government who don't want that for my child? I don't want it for him. But I also have a government who says, nah, nah. How can I be mad at that? How can I fight against that? How can I fight against that? Yes, absolutely, Renee. Shout out to Renee. Renee says, cooking ain't hard. All these things can be made from scratch. Absolutely, Renee. Absolutely. And they also have machines, Renee, where you can make chips, where you can make popcorn, where you can make gummies, where you can make ice cream, where you can make slushies. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Facts. Absolutely. What you say, Jazara? Jazara says food stamps should be used to purchase healthy foods. Totally agree. Totally agree. Totally agree. Gear Jammer says autism wasn't a trendy issue when I was young. It wasn't when I was young either. We never heard of autism back in the 70s. We didn't start hearing about autism till the 2000s. The mid to late 2000s is when I started hearing about autism. Saudi Tate says if the food doesn't increase proper development, those kids grow up to be dumb adults, leads to an underdeveloped society. Exactly. You get my point, Saudi Tate. Shout out to Saudi Tate. That's exactly my point. And this is how this Trump administration is looking at it. The kids will grow up to be dumb adults, which leads to an underdeveloped society, which is where we currently are here in America. There's nobody inventing nothing. You got a bunch of niggas dancing on TikTok. That's the new invention, going viral. The new invention is going viral. Niggas shaking their hips and shit. This is what niggas do now. They invent dances. Niggas used to invent, people used to invent tools, systems, things that help progress society. Sure, they want to rock. Rock. That's what's happening in this country now. Sure, they want to rock. People making dances. That's all they doing, sis. That's all they doing. You know why? Because that's what the food telling them to do. That's what the food telling them to do. That's what the food is telling them to do. Why you think they hate school? The food make them hate school. The food make them hate school. The food make them hate school. The food. Saudi Tate says, remember the Industrial Revolution? We not even close. Come on now. Gear Jammer says, I'm 62 years old. Our dads cured autism and ADHD with a belt back in my... Shout out to Gear Jammer. I remember them days. But guess what else too, though? Guess what else too? And you might have forgot to add this, Gear Jammer. But also remember, after that spanking, guess what your mama said or your grandmama said? Boy, you not getting no more of that goddamn candy. Who remember them days? You get you a lollipop, now your ass can't sit down. Who remember that? First thing your grandmama say, you shouldn't have gave him that sucker. Shouldn't have gave him that lollipop. Now he can't sit down. Shouldn't have gave him that candy. Now he can't sit down. Who? I grew up in an era where it was encouraged not to give us soda. I didn't grow up drinking sodas. I grew up drinking water. I was a water boy. I grew up drinking water. As I got older, I started drinking Kool-Aid and quarter waters. See, I wasn't no soda kid. I was drinking Kool-Aid and sugar water and Sunnydale juices. Yeah, if you from East New York, Brooklyn, you know about Sunnydale. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We wasn't drinking Minute Maid. We couldn't afford it. Sunnydale. Mm-hmm. The purple and the orange. Sunnydale. Official with the $2 hero in the morning. Yeah, that was me. Fat boy going to school. Hero. I got my Swiss roll. I gotta have my 2 Little Debbies and my 2 bags of chips. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't grow up eating Doritos. We ate Bravos. That was the healthier tortilla chip. They was called Bravos. It's before Doritos. That's before Doritos. The chips was healthier. They taste, why you think they taste different now? All the chips taste different. Because they put some other stuff in them that our children love. That our nieces and nephews and little cousins, they love that shit. We don't like it. Because we like, oh, this tastes funny. Yeah. 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 What up, Headbanger Video? Bucket says, I'm a Kool-Aid kid too. Yeah, I'm a Kool-Aid kid, bro. Kool-Aid kid is sugar water. Sunnydale juices, man. They call them hug juices now. We was drinking quarter waters and tropical fantasies for 50 cents. Who remember the 50 cent soda? CNC. Tropical fantasy. Come on, man. Come on, Seth, son. Come on, bro. Come on, man. I'm happy they taking all this shit off the shelf. I'm happy about it. I'm happy about that. Renee says, well, I'm curious because I have a godson that has autism and he's never eaten sugar. Then he may have it biologically. He may have it through his genes, Renee. He may have it through his genes. And then you have some children who have the autism trait and their bad diet can offset it in their DNA. But it sounds like with your godson, being that he's never eaten sugar, it sounds like it just comes strictly from his DNA. So that's something that he inherited, you know? And that's just, that's just the risk that we run when we have children. Shout out to Miss JB. Hey, JB. Good to see you, JB. She says, I have no rebuttal for it. Many SNAP recipients eat poorly, which put more deficient financially on our healthcare system. Exactly. Exactly, JB. Exactly. Shout out to Miss JB. I appreciate your super chat. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Absolutely. Joshua says, I ate potato sticks out the cardboard can. That was back in the day, huh? Saudi says, we used to drink from the water hose outside, playing rock ball in the middle of the street. We built different. Yeah, man. Yes, autism is also genetic. Absolutely, Sam. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. All vaccines can trigger the autism too. Yes. Absolutely. Jazara says that's another topic not talked about. Autism and ADHD because of vaccinations that have changed over the years. Oh no. Oh no. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been speaking about that as well. Because remember, he runs the Human Health Service. He runs that. Oh, he's been getting on the vaccinations. He's been going in on the C-19 vaccine. Oh man, he's been going in. And like you said, Jazara, that is a whole nother topic, and we might talk about that tomorrow. I'm glad you said that, Jazara. Shout out to you. Jazara in Gambia. Shout out to Gambia. Shout out to Gambia. Yes. But Robert F. Kennedy, he has not been playing with the pharmaceutical people, the people who make the vaccines. He's not playing. He's not playing. He's not playing. And we're gonna talk about that tomorrow, because I found a video that was specifically about these vaccines and autism, Jazara. And it's a lot going on with that. And just to give y'all a heads up for tomorrow's show, it's some lawsuits that's coming down the pipe. It's some lawsuits coming, y'all. So trust me, these people who have done what they've done to American children, they're going to pay, y'all. They're going to pay. They're going to pay. And they're going to pay during this administration. They're not going to keep hiding up under the Democrats. They ass going to pay. They're going to pay. They're going to pay. I'm telling y'all. Crimes against humanity, they're going to pay. They're going to pay. They're going to pay. They're going to pay. Sin says, will there be a morning show tomorrow? I'm thinking about that now. That's crazy. I'm thinking about that now, Sin. I hated Flavor Aid. Yeah, that was, come on, bro. When they started putting the Kool-Aid in the little container thing, that's not real Kool-Aid. We know that. That Flavor Aid that's in the little container, that's not the shit that's in them little packs that we used to buy for 10 cents. That's not the same flavor, bro. We know that. We knew that as kids. That's not the same thing. Renee says, do you think our food would be better if they would have never taken black farms from black owners? No, because again, I don't think it's a race thing, Renee. I don't think it's a race thing. No, I don't think it has nothing to do with black farms or black farm owners, because they didn't just take black farms from black owners. They took white farms from white owners who were selling great, healthy fruits and vegetables as well. So I wouldn't say that. I would say what they did to the farmers in general. But Trump and them is talking about bringing that back. They're working on bringing that back now. That's why they're actually speaking about keeping some of the immigrants here so they could work on the farms. They can work directly with the agricultural department. So yeah, I don't think it's a race thing. I think it's bigger than the race aspect of it, Renee. Because white people want their kids to eat healthy too. like, come on, man. Come on, y'all. Thank you, Pamela Bean. I appreciate your support. Thank you for stopping through. Thank you, Jazara. Welcome to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to Gambia once again. Them Flavor Aid packs. Yeah. I don't like those. That's fake Kool-Aid. I would never take a flu shot. It put me in a hospital. Yeah, I took a flu shot before and got sick too, Renee. But the flu shot is to give you the flu. In case you didn't know, Renee. The flu shot gives you the flu to see how strong your immune system is built to fight it off. That's all the flu vaccine is. Just stop taking the flu shot. Great drink. What's juice anymore? Good point, Kent. Yeah, drink and juice is two different things. Absolutely. Kari says there are still a lot of black-owned farms. Yes, absolutely. Shout out to you, Elliot. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the love, man. Salute to you. Jazara says is the amount of money being spent as an aftermath of the bad foods all along? It's possible. It's possible. Matter of fact, it is. It's a huge part of it because again, Jazara, I don't know if you was here when I mentioned it earlier, but with the American people eating bad, and shout out to Miss JB, she said it in her super chat. She says it puts more deficient financially people on our healthcare system. So yes, it's coming from the poor food because the poor food puts more stress on the healthcare system, which puts more pressure on who? The taxpayer. And then putting pressure on the taxpayer in that way affects what? The schools. Because the schools are funded by what? Taxpaying money. So it's like, okay, where do we allocate the money? Do we allocate it to the education system or do we allocate it to the healthcare system because all these people are sick? It's more goddamn people in the hospital than in goddamn schools. Y'all don't see that as a problem? It's more people in the hospital than in jail. You know how many people sick in this goddamn country? So yes, Jazara, yes. Yes, I agree. Oh, you from New York and now you live in Gambia? Wow. I'm from New York too, Jazara. What made you move to Gambia from New York? Did you meet a great African Gambian man? Hey, Jazara, did you meet your husband in Flatbush, Brooklyn? Do your husband sell cell phones on Carroll Street? Huh, Jazara? Did you meet your Gambian husband in New York? This has been a long time coming. I bet you moved all the way to Gambia from New York. Golly. Renee says, I was living in Massachusetts at one time and we had a flu epidemic. I didn't know until I ended up in the hospital. Sounds like you need to be a little more aware, Renee. So you did meet your husband in New York, huh, Jazara? She said, we're going back home. Your husband said, you're going back home with me. Bluegrass says the whole problem is the Democratic Party, which created all of these problems with food, welfare, etc. Since the days of the Democratic Party owning slaves, Democratic policies are enslavement. Shout out to Bluegrass, man. Salute. I agree. They want us to stay prisoners in our own country. They do. They do. They do. I agree with that. White Boy Exotic says 7 more months and I'm going to attempt to use a food stamp on a on a Four Loco just to see if it works. Jazara says yes. On Martins and Flatbush, he's Jamaican though. Oh, okay. Shout out to that Jamaican man on Martins. Oh, he's a dangerous man. Shout out to you, Jazara. He's a dangerous man. He's from Martins and Flatbush. He's a dangerous, and he's Jamaican. He's a dangerous man. Shout out to that dangerous man. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. He's a dangerous man. I like that guy. I like that guy. I never met him, but I like that guy. He's a dangerous man. Martins and Flatbush, he's a dangerous man. He's a dangerous man. He's a rude boy. He's a rude boy. He's a rude boy, Sin. He's a rude boy. Martins and Flatbush, yeah, you don't just want to be walking around there randomly. You know, after a certain time, yeah, you don't just want to be walking around there. Yeah, it's not safe over there, Renee. You don't just want to be walking or not over there. That's a bad side block to get caught. That's not a good block to get caught on. You know, that's one of them blocks that when you get caught up on, you in a whole nother world. Yeah, that's one of them blocks. Jazara says, if you know, you know. But shout out to you, Jazara. I appreciate your support, man. Thank you, Bridget. We getting ready to wrap up the show. I appreciate your support. Sin says, you sound like my grandfather. Damn. I sound like a grandfather, Sin? She said, I sound like a grandfather. White Boy Exotic says, in Dallas, you don't want to be walking around there at a red light. Whole nother ball game. And we know why those guys in Dallas down there so violent. Look at the shit they eating, bro. Got to think about that, man. We got to think about that, man. But we're going to continue with this conversation because I definitely have a video about what's going on currently with this autism epidemic and how this stuff is connected to these medical companies, and the government is involved, y'all. It's a lot going on. I'm going to do some more research. I'm going to look into it some more, and we're going to come back tomorrow with a show as promised. Thanks, Bluegrass. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate your support. Thank you so much, Jazara. Enjoy your day. Kent says, study Freedman Bank history. I heard about the Freedman Bank, the Freedman Banks. Yeah. And the Freedman Bureau and the free black people who own black slaves. Yeah. Yeah, that's down in the Carolinas. I know about the Freedman Bureau, Kent. Yeah, that's them. Yeah. South Carolina, North Carolina. Yeah, it was black people who owned slaves. They were free people. They were freed slaves by their white slave masters. And they became slave masters who had black slaves. That's right down there in the Carolinas. Did you know that? That's the Carolinas. Do you know Black Wall Street is in the Carolinas too? It was started by those free black men up there. Raleigh, all that up there, Durham, Raleigh. Yeah. Black Wall Street. You thought Black Wall Street was just in Tulsa. Black Wall Street was a movement. Black Wall Street wasn't like an area that most people think like, oh, it just was in Tulsa and it was just this one area. No, Black Wall Street was a movement. And some of those brothers, yeah, those men who ran communities and had their own shit right there in the Carolinas, like Wilmington, North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah. Look it up. Freedmen. Free men. And when you're free back then, that you know what else you're free to do? Own slaves. So you had black men and black women who had black slaves. And they had white slaves too. They had white ones too. Freedmen. Yeah, they started a bank called the Freedmen Bank. Yeah. Scorpio says, my ancestors, NC in the house. Shout out to North Carolina. I love NC. I love that country life. I'm a city boy. I love the country life. Thank you so much, Lakeisha. Shout out to you. Yeah. Yeah, I know about them free men. Mm-hmm. I actually did a Black History Month dissertation about one of them. Look up Warren C. Coleman. That's an actual street in North Carolina. Warren C. Coleman Boulevard. Warren C. Coleman was a free man, free black man who were owned by white slaves and who was free. His name was Warren C. Coleman. Look it up. Of course they don't teach it, Dustin, because they want to keep the black and white race argument continuing. That's why. But if you know, you know. Now that I didn't know. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Once you become a free man, you can own slaves. There was white slaves in the South. Y'all don't think it was white slaves in the South? Y'all think only black people were slaves in the South? Yeah. Oh, so y'all think it was only black slaves? It wasn't white slaves. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. If you think this life is a coloring book, okay. All right. Benjamin Brown says Auburn Avenue in Atlanta too, Black Wall Street. Talk about it. Talk about it. And let's not forget to add this, Benjamin. All the places that participated in Black Wall Street were all what? Conservative Republicans. These were conservative blacks, not Democrats. Conservative blacks, not liberals. Conservative blacks. What the hell you think the Black Panthers were? See, you were so caught up in somebody marching in the street with a gun that you didn't listen to the message that came from Fred Hampton, that came from Bobby Seale, that came from Huey P. Newton, that came from Mutulu Shakur. Conservative. Conservative. Go get an education. Go join the system and make this a better place for your people. Conservative. The Black Panthers wasn't anti-government. See, you believe in coloring books. Because that's what your life is. Your life is a sticker book. You believe fairy tales. You believe fairy tales. Look what Renee said. Renee said, yup, my people were slave owners. You know how many people? Now, if you found out your black ancestors owned slaves, do you have the right to call Donald Trump a racist or call a white man a racist or a white supremacist? You see how all that shit is false? What white supremacists? When black people own slaves too. What white supremacy? What you talking about? What you talking about? So what you call them black slave owners who own black slaves? Do you call them racist? What you call them? This is why we got to stop living our lives in a goddamn coloring book. We grown-ups. This ain't kindergarten. Why we still talking about crayons and coloring books? Why? Why? Why would we do that if we really know the truth? Shout out to my man Club. Why would we do that, bro? Makes no sense. So let's stop trying to make what the Trump administration doing. Let's stop trying to paint over everything that the Trump administration is doing successfully and try to color the shit with a white brush. Oh, look what he's doing to us. You want to paint everything with a color. When if you actually know the information and you know the facts, you sound crazy using race. Because according to the records, white women are the most people on welfare, on SNAP benefits. It's white women. So why you want to keep making this about race? When it's white women. Autism just became a problem in the black community. It been a problem in the white community. Why are you making this about race? Do you know I raised a stepson who was deemed autistic? Most of the kids in his class was white. This is why I get upset when y'all talk that shit. Because you really don't know. This is how I know you're not actively in the world like that. Most of the children that was in my stepson class when he was in grade school was white. White, Latino, Asian. He didn't have it wasn't a lot of black boys in his class. Wasn't a lot of black girls in his classes. This is an American issue, not black or white. American. Do you know how many children right now are undiagnosed or misdiagnosed? But we're going to get into more of that tomorrow, man. Shout out to everyone for pulling up. I appreciate all of you guys, man. Shout out to all the new supporters. If you're new here, don't hesitate to subscribe if you enjoyed the show. I need you guys to get down in the comment section and let me know what you think of today's show, because we will be back tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow to continue to discuss this situation going on with this food ban and what's going on with the healthcare system, because it's a lot going on. Because remember that guy who unalived the CEO of United Healthcare? Remember what he said. He said he unalived him because his grandmother was being denied certain medications. See, this is a problem that they've been sweeping under the rug for so long that now it has become a epidemic. It has become a real big problem, especially when Brian Thompson got unalived by that guy Mangione. Because that ties into what's going on in the healthcare system. His grandmother ain't the only lady that died from not getting her medicine. It's happened to a lot of people. He just was one that took it into his own hands. And see, we're going to talk about this tomorrow, man. Because this is the stuff that the Trump administration is focused on and they trying to get rid of out this country. Stop being distracted. Stop being distracted with the racial talk. Stop being distracted with the money talk. Because the money and the race talk goes hand in hand. You don't see that? Once they get to talk about low income, first thing pop in your head, they talk about black people. See how it's all connected? Stop falling for these distractions. Even when you read these articles. Because you see, they added that little bullshit in at the end of the article. But I had another article and some more information that I wanted to get to, but we'll get to it tomorrow. We'll get to it tomorrow. Yes, it's 2 p.m. CST if you Central Time. And if you EST, it's 3 p.m. EST, Jazara. Same time tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to my lovely lady mods. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much as usual. Always coming through and holding it down. Thank y'all so much. Salute to all the bros. Salute, salute, salute. I appreciate y'all. Get down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think of today's show. Get down in the comment section and let me know what y'all think of today's show. DS1 Ross, Sheep Stay Sleep TV, and I'm going to catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.